And we are live. Welcome, everyone, and happy Turtle Tuesday, everybody.
It is another fantastic Tuesday.
It is in Georgia weather. Let me tell you, I swear, in the afternoon, it is like nice and warm. And now that it's 11 o'clock, it is like freezing cold, and I'm in my bundled up in my blanket and everything. I was like, oh gosh, I can't wait till spring starts.
Yeah, it is. It's been a nippy, kind of 60 degrees out here in California.
Yeah,
But it does get pretty chilly down there.
yeah. And you guys have stopped the rain, right? Like it's been I know
Oh
you had
yeah,
like a
rain.
whole week.
Yeah, rain stopped last week, so we're drying out. Everything's still a little soggy,
Uh huh.
because it had been so long since we'd had like a regular rain.
Right.
But everything's nice and green right now, but that'll all dry up and die soon. So.
Gotcha. And something before we start, if you guys are in the chat room, I really encourage you guys to join in and everything. We love it when you guys give your guys' opinions as well. Today's Tuesday. Obviously, Ninja Turtle Power Hour has a new podcast. What was your guys' episode about?
So this week we finished season 5 of the original 87 series. So we covered Welcome Back Polarisoids, Michelangelo, the Sacred Turtle, and I recapped both episodes of Planet of the
Nice.
Turtleoids.
Oh.
Drew the
See, Planet of
drew the short end.
Turtleoids is the season
What's that?
premiere. I said Planet of the
Well,
Turtleoids.
it depends.
No. It
So
doesn't depend.
it's technically
It was
yeah.
the season premiere.
Well, like I said, it depends on the list you're going by.
I,
So
it depends on when CBS aired it, and that was when I remember the advertisements and the primetime viewing of it, and how they advertise it as the season premiere.
But apparently the season code for it is season 5.
No, it's season 5. It's season 5. It's the first episode of season 5.
Planet of the Turtleoids?
Planet of the Turtleoids. Yeah, the primetime special that was an hour long.
Oh, it's the first episode of season 5.
It's the first episode of season 5. Yeah, is this that they aired it in the kids block, they aired it later, and then of course the DVD messed it up because of
Yeah, so the DVD has it if you have it on DVD, it is part of season 10.
Right, as a bonus episode.
But if you have the digital episodes, it's part of season 6.
Oh wow, it's a season 6. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of just split the difference and put it as our season finale for season 5, because that's also how Turtlepedia lists it.
Yeah. I can tell you this right now. Turtle Recall will put it in where it actually belongs, which is actually the season premiere.
But you won't have the energetic recap that I did. So
no, we won't have.
It may be in the right spot, but it won't be.
It won't. I'll have the energetic because I remember I remember staying up for prime time and everything for it, and I was like, I mean, how even though the episode itself isn't that something to write home about, but it was just really cool that there was an hour Ninja Turtle special on CBS. That was that was because that was the second and last time CBS actually had a primetime special for Ninja Turtles.
It's wild to me because I guess I don't remember this this episode.
You don't remember this episode? This was a huge episode. This was that was
I never watched CBS anything.
Gotcha.
So that's why whenever yes, out here we occasionally have Timon and Pumbaa when that show was on.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these episodes I don't remember. But through osmosis I kind of know them. I know about Kerma.
Yeah.
But now I have more context about Kerma now. So,
right.
But yeah, so those are the 3 episodes that we covered. So we we're moving on to season 6 next week.
See,
We're recording that episode tomorrow.
You're already past season 5 while we have not even finished season 4.
We lapped you a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe when you guys get to the European episodes, we might be able to catch up. But our podcast this week, we actually have Spencer from Ninja Turtle Power Hour, and we are going to be talking about the 20th anniversary of the 2003 series. So, him and I were going to reminisce and everything, and we're just going to talk about, like, the episodes we liked, some of the storylines we liked, and some fun stuff, and and I will tell you, and you guys will hear the crazy story on how that show aired on Georgia, or I should say lack of airing in the Atlanta area, because I'm gonna go into like how I had to wait for the DVDs to come out so I could like actually watch the show, because
we're gonna be doing our 20th anniversary retrospective too next month, so we're actually asking for people to send us in their memory at our email. So if you want, ninjaturtlepowerhour@gmail.com, and then we'll mention it on the show.
Yeah, go ahead and do that, and then I'll just link you the whole podcast. So you can just like air that. I'm kidding.
Well, I have Spencer on the show, so he could just do that for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Also, just I do have a fun story with Michael Sikanellis. I can never pronounce his name.
Nicholas.
Yeah, him. But yeah, he basically explains how Leonardo got the scooter in.
Oh God, that's the one thing that I've been waiting to find out about.
It was a fun thing. He told me, and this was like years ago. Like when he told me about it, like it was right when the 2003 series ended.
Well, perfect. I can't wait to know that secret.
Yes. You should. It's a very fun secret to learn. But yeah, that's what's going on with our regular podcast. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with the news. The first thing I want to talk about is not. I mean, I wouldn't really call it news. It's more of like, hey, be aware of this. And we have a link in the description of the interview on this video, but Peter Layard has done a Ninja Turtle video interview at the YouTube channel Cartoonist Kayfabe.
Cartoonist Kayfabe.
Thank you. I was about to like call it Kayfabe.
So this kind of came out of nowhere. It's the first real interview that Peter Laird has done in years. Because like Peter we know like sold the franchise in 2009, and he's been pretty quiet, kind of doing his own thing over in Maine.
Right. Yeah. They had him on for the Toys That Made Us, and like they had that very famous scene when him and Kevin like reunited in like after so many years. But like once he sold the franchise, he really washed his hands from the series. He really was like kind of like he was like, okay, I'm kind of done. So it was just nice seeing him return. I mean, this I know he's done like a few like smaller conventions in the Northeast area, which I've always like told myself like one day I'm gonna try to make it to one of those, but he does like the smaller ones, so I don't find out about it till like I don't know, maybe a week or two before.
Yeah, like he really only does like local shows now. So anyway, so this is just it's a good it's about an hour long interview. He talks a lot of old memories with Kevin, and a lot of really early like pre-Mirage stuff, and then those early Mirage years. But one of the really big notable things is that the two hosts the two hosts, Ed and Jim, they press him on a couple things, but what's really interesting is that they bring up his whole like deal with Nickelodeon so that he can still do a Turtles comic if he wants to. which he mentions like, that was really important for him to want
Right.
to do.
Yeah, he
Um,
just unfortunately like went. I mean, I remember like he had that deal with him, and like and he had a plan to finish Volume 4, but like he just never got around to it. I remember that.
yeah, and he so he mentions, if the stars align and all that, then maybe him and Jim Lawson can get back together and go ahead and just finish that story, which would be really cool. I know myself and a lot of other fans would love to see that.
Yeah.
Love to see that happen.
I
And then
personally
he kind of,
I personally want to reprint a Volume 4 because I never read
well,
Volume Four.
he mentions that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice interview. Just to kind of check in with him, because like I said, this is the first real interview that he's done in years.
Yeah.
And even then, the two hosts, they specifically say, like, there aren't really any audio interviews with Peter. Like Kevin,
Right.
Kevin has done this show a couple times.
Yes,
Yeah,
Kevin has like I personally have his phone number, so like
yeah.
I mean he's
So,
very accessible
but Peter,
to.
but Peter really isn't, and so they mentioned that Peter had reached out to them to do this interview, and so this is kind of, like I said, like this is kind of really the first interview, like first modern interview with Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Because Toys That Made Us is over 5 years old now.
Right.
That was 2 versions of Ninja Turtles ago.
Right, it was. It definitely was.
we're in a new era, so it was just kind of nice to check in with Peter. Kind of interesting to see what he thinks of the franchise. It seems like he's really kind of hands off. He doesn't know anything that IDW or Nick is really doing. I think the last time he really checked in on anything was like the 2012 show. So
yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, and I will say because I didn't have time to watch the full interview, but I did see snippets of it, and to me I think the most shocking thing, and I was talking about Mike before we came online, was that I mean age has like really caught up to him, and I told him like. Because I remember I was like, oh, I saw him in Toys That Made Us, and like it looked like he aged like 10 years instead of 5 years from that.
Yeah, he's only 68, but he definitely looks like he's done traveling.
Right. Like
so
he lost a lot of weight, I will say, and I think I think the weight loss like just made him appear older.
And so and so like I said, it's good to check in with Peter. It's good to see all this. So you can check that out on the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel. I think we probably, if we haven't tweeted it out yet, we'll probably do it now that I finally watched it.
Right.
Because we're going to talk about it in our show tomorrow too.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely check it out. Like like I said, like there's so many interviews you can find with Kevin. Kevin's very active with the Ninja Turtle community. Peter is the complete opposite. He is a complete opposite character from Kevin. So it was actually really cool just to find out that like his like he has a really recent interview, and his like it looks like this might be a sign of him coming like back back to the franchise, and like and hopefully Volume 4 will get an end, and like maybe Volume 4 might get an end, maybe Forever War will finally happen in Archie.
Yeah, I mean he mentions Archie, he mentions a lot of stuff, so hopefully.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about, I'm actually really excited about this, and that is the BST AXN XL figure of Krang, and this is like the normal color of him. So on Turtle Recall, we never got around to talking about the flashing yellow video game version of it, just only because that figure came out while we were on hiatus, and by the time we came back, I didn't feel like there was a reason to bring it up. But basically, this was kind of like what I was holding out for, was just a regular paint scheme color of this figure, and I am super excited about it because I really think this is like one of the best loyal subjects figure there is at this moment.
It it's funny because like yeah, the NECA version is more show accurate, but this looks so much better of a figure. Like this looks like so much more fun to play with.
So
The articulation already in the picture that you see on screen, the articulation is already so much better than the NECA version.
yeah,
Um,
so
like
something I can tell you because I mean the NECA version, I love the NECA version. I love the way it looks and everything. My problem with the NECA version is because of the paint, and this is like my problem with NECA in general because of the paint. Like when you move it around, you're just chipping that paint. And then like once it gets from the joints, it like I mean, just this fear that it's gonna make it to the other parts of the actual figure, of like, and that's like the main part, that's like the arms and everything, just because of like that matte do thing because they want to they want to make it not that plastic looking.
well, that's I mean that's NECA's like big thing that they do, which is really boneheaded.
Right,
Uh, but also kind of goes into their philosophy that these are collectibles that they really honestly don't want you to take out of the box.
right,
So they paint over the joints, even though like 90% of the time the joints are molded in the color that they're going to paint them. So they don't need to paint them,
right.
which just messes up everything.
Yeah,
So thankfully, loyal subjects and in with the best action line here, they've kind of split the difference and then made a lot of the joints. Like for the turtles, their joints are they're double jointed, and their elbow pads and knee pads are the joint.
right,
Krang here has like on in the show model, they're like flesh colored, but here they made them more robotic,
right.
and so you can kind of get away with doing that bend as like more of a robotic piece than if you kept it as that kind of flesh color. But also like the way the joint is cut, like you get so much more degree of motion than you can with the NECA version. So
Yes, yes.
honestly, it's kind of turning me on to wanting to collect this line. Um, I don't
I
really want to
actually
have to go back and find these. I actually bought my first one, and I bought one of like the disguised turtles.
right, right. You
Um,
mentioned that last week actually.
yeah, and so like I bought one of those, but I still haven't opened it,
Uh-huh.
and I still haven't found the others.
Oh, gotcha.
Um,
I'll be honest because I have the Casey Jones. I have both like the glow in the dark Casey Jones and the regular one, and Shredder. Those were the ones I was like super excited for, and I'm like I'm gonna open them, and then I haven't got around to it only because I don't know where I'm going to put it. So I'm like I just got to find a place to put it. Um, so I do want to read. I do want to read like the release for it, and for here it's introducing Best Action XL. By the way, Mike, I will say for the longest time I didn't know what BST AXN meant until last week when you. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. Uh, designed for
yeah,
those.
a lot of people do the same thing. They don't know that it stands for best action.
Yeah, I had no idea. That was like that. I meant to mention that last week, and I totally forgot. Designed for those larger than life characters from the TMNT lore to scale up so you can reenact your favorite TMNT story elements with your 1/15th scale TMNT BST AXN collection. Krang is 8 inches tall and is packed with features: a snap and release cockpit, access through the race, housing Krang in the control pit of his cool, awesome robot. Krang comes with an extra set of tentacle arms with ball and pin joints for maximum posability. Krang's robot comes with several interchangeable hand grips and weapons: an axe, a drill, a laser weapon, a huge katana sword, punching fist, and gripping hands. Krang's robot features 31 points of articulation for maximum posability, a must-have for TMNT enthusiasts. Fully posability, killer quality, killer features, a ton of accessories, packaged in a great display window. The first in the BST AXN XL category, 8-inch TMNT action figures. Here we come. I want to say, like, this is not really the first. The first was your exclusive flashing robot. But I mean, I'll be honest, that color scheme turned me off. And I was kind of like, I mean, I was playing the waiting game for waiting for like this version of it, because I knew it was coming.
I mean, I kind of want the flashing version, and my comic book store has a couple in stock, and I've looked at it. It's cool looking, but I don't know. I don't do a whole lot of like color exclusives like that.
Right.
So it's kind of like, it's neat and it's very nostalgic to me, but also I don't need that version, but I'm glad it exists.
I'm glad it exists. My thing was that I preferred the orange flashing, and I didn't like the original arcade that they made him flash yellow. I thought that was stupid. Like I was like, why did Krang flash yellow? I don't know if it was a design choice or if it was a limitation, but it always annoyed me as a kid. Was like, why is he flashing a different color than everyone else?
I just thought it was also interesting that that version had come out before the normal one. So
yeah.
But anyway, it's out now, or you can pre-order it now.
You can pre-order right now. I mean, it's retailing for $35, which is ironic because the exclusive one went for $30, but that could be because that's maybe the Big Bag Toy Store's price might be $5 more than what Entertainment Earth might release it as. When
Earth, I think my comic book store was selling it for $30.
Yeah. So and that's the thing, because it's not up at Entertainment Earth just yet. I personally like this, and I like that it comes with pretty much the same accessories with the NECA one. And I mean, I'm still annoyed because my axe broke from my NECA one, and NECA has been promising me for 2 years now that they were going to replace it, because it was a defect on their part, because when I put it in an arm, when I tried to take it off, it immediately like broke off. But you know, they keep responding with the same canned
response. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of par for course with NECA, unfortunately.
Yeah. So,
but
I mean, I'll be honest. I think I'm gonna have this like kind of replace that NECA one, only because I mean, I really I love the NECA one. Like it's just, it has a better cartoon look to it, but I think this one looks better. Like, just,
yeah, like I think this one is a much more fun toy.
Yeah. Yes,
which is
much more fun.
Which is why I'm interested. Which is why I'm more interested in it, because I like to play with my toys that I buy.
Yeah,
you know, I like to take them out. I like to pose them.
Yeah.
You know, I keep accidentally hitting the mic right now with an action figure that I'm trying to pose. But so it's like having these figures from the Best Action line. Like, honestly, like I said, I kind of want to go back and collect some of these.
Yeah.
Just because they look like a lot of fun. And if they start to get into more weird stuff, because we talked last week how they're doing the body count image version of Casey,
which is amazing. I'm really looking
like,
forward
if
to
they're
that.
if they're gonna get into that kind of stuff, then that really puts them in a new, you know, that puts them in a new market that like NECA hasn't even tapped yet.
Right.
Really.
Right. Exactly.
Because, you know, you want to talk about like least represented versions of Turtles, you know, look no further than in the Image run.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
and just it got me thinking, like, how crazy would it be if Best Action is the toy line that gets IDW figures first?
That would be, to be honest, that would be insane. And like, I'll be honest, if they get IDW first, like that might be the only line I might get IDW figures. Because like, I'll be honest, like whoever does it first, that's like that's what we'll get it from.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way I feel. So speaking of like the figures that were revealed last week, I wanted to bring this up because because there's always like things I like remember right after we record. Last week you were saying that the Krang with the different color bubble walker, and you're like, oh, that's from the Krangozoid episode, and I was like kind of blanking. I was like, I don't, that didn't make sense to me. I remember now after when I was like editing the episode. I remember, like, oh yeah, when Krang like clones himself, like the clones had different color bubble walkers.
Yeah, and so you sent me the picture.
Yeah, like, I sent you the picture. Yeah, yeah, because I usually do that like right after like especially like when I'm editing. I'm like, this is what I meant to say, because you know it's always like when you're on the mic, you just there's so many things that you forget, and then after the mic is like, oh yeah, I meant that.
Yeah, thankfully, like when we're doing our show, you know, we do our research times, and through the magic of editing, it's all seamless. But
right.
when you and I do this show, like we're doing it live on YouTube, so
right,
we don't have that luxury anymore.
Yeah. We don't have that luxury there. But yeah, I'm excited for this Krang. And like I was holding off for the other one, so I'm so glad I hold off. The next thing I'm going to talk about is MiniMates. We have a brand new MiniMates set announced, and let me read that press release. A Diamond Select Toys release. The Heroes in a Half Shell are back for an all-new box set of 2-inch Minimates. This time, the set captures 5 classic 1980s Ninja Turtles, cartoon characters Donatello, April, Shredder, Bebop, and a Foot Soldier in a slipcover box set depicting the iconic turtle blimp from the show. Each Minimate features multiple points of articulation and fully interchangeable parts, limited to 1,987 pieces. This is the first set in the series, designed and illustrated by Barry Bradfield.
Well, there you go. I thought it was neat. You know, it's nice to see more Minimates of the Turtles. I got out of Minimates a long time ago, so these aren't for me, but I'm glad they exist.
Yeah. I'm actually excited for these. We like the last set I was super excited for because I thought the packaging was really cool when it was designed off of the original like VHS set. I thought they did a really good job of capturing that. And we actually have a review of me going through that. This set, like I'm not as excited for, but I'm still definitely going to get it. I like the fact that we have the blimp. I will say, like, I was like, parts of me I was kind of hoping like we'd get more VHS covers. Because that's what was my big draw with this one. I like the fact is like, okay, we're getting 4 new characters in this line, and then we're getting another Donatello, and Donatello is actually like cartoon color as opposed to the action figure color that we got the last time. I'm also hoping that Donatello also comes with 2 small ninja stars, because the cleaning...
You already lost yours?
No, the cleaning people threw them out. Like I was like so for my wife's like baby shower gift, one of her friends decided to hire professional cleaners to clean the house, and it was like they came like right after we filmed the review, and I specifically I was like, oh, I'm not taking the Ninja Stars out of the package because I don't want to lose them, and that was like my whole thing. After I filmed the close shot of it, I was like, okay, just keep it in there. I put the tape was on and on everything, so I wouldn't lose it. And then, but the package was out. The plastic insert was outside of the actual VHS sleeve, and the
Mm.
cleaning people looked at it, assumed it was garbage, and threw it away. And like
Oof.
as soon as they left, I was like, "Honey, did, did they take the garbage with them?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, they." I was like, they threw away. They threw away. Not only they threw away the package, they threw away the accessories that went with it too. Well,
Oof.
luckily, yeah, it was just those two ninja stars. But yeah, it was like, oof. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, you know what would actually probably get me to get the MiniMates would probably be if they did vehicles.
So, oh, if they actually made a physical vehicle, not just a cardboard
Yeah,
cutout, yeah,
yeah, like if they made a MiniMate scale turtle van
that would actually be
or
pretty cool. And like, especially since this is, I know that they mentioned that this is going to be a set of a series. I imagine the next one will be the next slip cover will be a turtle van. I can only imagine. I'm wondering if they're going to have four, like one for each turtle, but at the same time there's like these four characters, like like other than Splinter, Rocksteady, and Krang, I can't think of like anyone else they can throw in there other than like just more foot soldiers. Like,
I mean Baxter,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's Baxter. You can do like Leatherhead,
Hokum.
Hokum Hair. You know what? What if Diamond Select releases Hokum Hair before NECA and Playmates?
I would, I mean, obviously buy it. That would get me right into. Uh, but yeah,
One thing I do want to mention, I thought this was like really weird and odd, because Minimates has that cylinder head, and that's like part of like their design and everything.
mhm.
Bebop has a fully molded head, and I just thought it was just weird.
It looks really weird and a
Yeah,
little unsettling.
yeah.
I'm not a fan of that.
Uh, th-
But there's really no way you could do that. I think part of what I would have rather than see them do would have been to do a fully molded head, but as like a cap to like you put that on the head, kind of like Shredder's helmet or April's
right,
hair or even
right,
Donatello's mask.
right,
Um,
right, right. Because
but Bebop's head seems like very undersized compared to like his compared to everybody else, but it's in proportion to his body, so it all looks weird.
yeah,
Um,
it just looks very weird, and like it's almost like sometimes when you get like the Lego minifigures, and then like most of them have like the yellow like cylinder head thing that you just put a
mhm.
hairpiece on, and then you get like the special characters, including like the Ninja Turtles. So all of a sudden, like they have like this molded head, and it just doesn't fit that well with like the other minifigures, and that's why I feel like with Bebop, like I don't know why like he doesn't have that design, and I mean
Yeah,
I personally I would prefer like all of them have like the molded head that Bebop has, but the fact that he doesn't, he looks like the odd man out, and like because like even when we got like the VHS ones, the the small baby turtles also had the cylinder heads. Like it was like they went in that much detail to make sure that the baby turtles also has like that same design. It's just like
yeah,
weird that Bebop does not have it.
yeah. Like I said, I'm not a fan of that one.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I think it's weird. Um, I mean, I know I'll get these because I mean I'm too interested into them. I'm actually I'm personally I'm excited for them, and I have the other set. I mean the blimp package is pretty cool. I do think it's like I do think it's kind of odd that they're it's limited, but I love the limited number. Did you catch what the number was? How many items were only being made for it?
I did not.
1,987.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
That reminds me of the what you call it, the Nendoroids. The rest of the Nendoroids went up for order, and then we got a full like solicitation for the Krang Nendoroid.
uh-huh.
And everyone was looking at those, and because the turtles are numbered 1984, 85, 86, and 87,
Uh-huh.
people were like, that's really weird. Those aren't, like, only two of those are years for Ninja Turtles, and not realizing that Nendoroids have their own numbering system.
Right.
So those just happen to be where, if you collect Nendoroids, Ninja Turtles are the 1984, 85, and 86, 87 figures.
They just happen to be, oh wow, that's
They just happen to fall there. So so that was just a funny little thing too.
right, right. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about, we're not going to go too much detail into it because of like, you
Well,
know,
before we get into that,
yeah.
you didn't put it in the news here,
Oh.
but Last Ronin, The Lost Years,
Oh,
drops tomorrow in comic book shops.
you know, I meant to mention this. I meant to get a picture of it. Yeah, the Lost Years drops tomorrow. So does Saturday Morning Adventures #4, and Power and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Cross Ninja Turtles 2 issue 2.
Yeah, so head to your comic book store tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, the website IO9 is going to have an interview with Ben Bishop, and there's going to be some cool reveals. Let me tell you.
Nice, nice. I can't wait.
So that's going to go up at 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow.
Gotcha. Duck Talks. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, the Duck Talks guys. I love them.
Yeah, yeah. They commented. I said that is cool that they used the year that DuckTales premiered for the LE number. Yeah, that's right. You know, I thought it was cool that like DuckTales just happens to keep using 1987. Like that's like a year that they're special for. I don't know why. Like there's like I don't know what 87 has to even do anything with DuckTales, since we know that show premiered in 2017.
Yeah, there's definitely no other DuckTales content before then.
No, not at all.
All right, so bring us back to our final topic of the night.
All right, bringing it back to the final topic of the night. You know, first I'm gonna say, Mutant Mayhem. I swear, like no other Ninja Turtle movie has like so many leaks that's like been coming out for this. So right now what's floating around the internet, like, you know, this week, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be something next week, is that there's a storyboard animatic floating around that, like, you know, is supposedly for the movie, the new movie that's coming out this year in August, which is Mutant Mayhem. What you're seeing on YouTube is not that storyboard animatic. It is actually from Rise, because I am not going to get myself in trouble with with it.
So Jason hasn't watched it. I did watch it, and whether or not it is actually from the movie, we don't know. It's not fully confirmed or anything. It just kind of showed up on a random account, and nobody's claimed it. So like I said, could or could not be for Mutant Mayhem, but it does offer some insight into kind of what's been teased, and it may not even be an actual scene from the movie. You know, it might be an animatic that was cut. We don't know. So definitely speculate responsibly. Don't just go sharing it willy-nilly, because that's how you get groups shut down on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely don't like share it or anything like that, because you know, unless you want lawyer emails, because you know those aren't fun. But all right. When I saw it like floating around, like, you know, I was talking to Anna about it, and if you guys don't know, Anna has done animation, and she has done animation for at least two series that's aired on TV, uh, and both of them owned by Awesome Inc. Animation studio, which is here in Atlanta, Georgia. What she was telling me like this is like something that like she doesn't think this is like real. She doesn't think that this is something that can be shared because of a few things. One, uh, because of COVID time, uh, a lot of people are doing the animation from home. There's a lot of people working from home and everything. But because of that, it opens up more risks. The what they're doing, how they're mitigating it, the people like her and like other people that are like not in that top level, like when they get like animation samples or storybook animatics or anything, um their name is watermarked all over it, so that way if it does go out, they know that it was them that did it. So uh like, and then also, for someone to release it that does not have a watermark, that's like putting themselves in the risk of being blacklisted from any animation company, and no one's gonna want to do that. uh, like that's why like we believe that this is not real at all, because this is not the same situation as like the other images or the snack company, or like just things that like other companies getting like the assets like for their advertisements or anything like that, because they're getting these to get prepare to advertise for the actual show, and they don't have as much of a risk to go with it. And that's what like that, but this is like something someone is animated it for, so for an internal use.
Yeah.
So like if a top person is like doing this, like one, like they're gonna find out from the file like who was it, but also the top, like the person who does is not gonna want their work out there, like in this situation. And also with the security risk, like because she was telling me, she was like, she was like, I work for Awesome Inc. And like, they took everything so seriously. I can't imagine a movie studio that works for Paramount can just like let something this easy go out, while well, she had her own experience of like have of like of her things like
Yeah.
going out, like, so
And
that.
so yeah, so it's really interesting how this came out. It's going to be really curious to see, if there's any potential backlash from all of this. Um, I mean, I'm following it. I'm really curious.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say the other thing I will say, because like like the other stuff that came out, like can't, one of it was a conference call, and like someone like shared a screenshot what they shouldn't have, and Viacom was like already, they were all over it like the second day. This snack company that both Mike and I, we had our images removed, like they did not spend much time making sure to scrub that, or have Viacom's lawyers come after me.
Yeah.
Um, this one, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing any repercussion, and this is a bigger thing. And I mean, I'm kind of comparing it to the 2014 movie script leak. Do you remember that, Mike?
Vaguely. Yeah, because I remember the whole Eric Sachs as Shredder thing, and
Like, no, I'm talking about the movie script leak, where like basically uh after Michael Bay said like, oh, these guys are aliens, and then all of a sudden someone like somehow like some random website had this leak of a script where basically the main character was Casey Jones. The Ninja Turtles were just like secondary characters. The F bomb
Oh
was like,
no, I don't remember
oh,
this.
see, yeah, like the F bomb was like was throughout, was like thrown out. Like I remember like that was like when that leak came out. That was, I met Kevin Eastman like that week. That was like my first time ever like talking to him, and like him and I were like kind of laughing about it because we're like, no, because he was like he was like, yeah, like there's no way this is like real. This is like this is just someone just making it up. Because he said like, I promise you, if it was real, I wouldn't even like tell you if it was or not.
So yeah, so this whole thing, like we said, like we've been saying, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
It may or may not be real.
It may or may not be real. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm
You're
just
not
saying that the
you're not gonna
likelihood.
get a prize. You're not gonna get a prize if it is real.
Yeah. You don't get a
but
prize. I mean, if it's real, like your prize is that you got to see something. You got to see a scene like early and like really bad crude drawings. Like because that's what
and out of
storyboards are.
context. So
Yeah, and out of context. Yeah. So like it's either like if you want
yeah,
a
we're
potential
totally
spoiler.
Streisanding affecting this thing that we said we weren't going to talk about that much. So.
Right. We totally are. But yeah, but that's just like I'm just giving you guys like the how how another animation industry handles these kind of things, and why on our side we kind of like, oh no, I don't think this is possible. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. Just like I mean, like as Mike said, if it's real, then like you don't get a prize. I mean, if it's not real, it's like I mean, and as also what Mike said, or like some of the other people are saying, because I feel like this is the out thing. It's like, oh, they're probably like, we'll cut it out because of the backlash. Like, you don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Yeah.
There's been some dumb talk about like, oh, like we're gonna use this to Sonic the movie, and
yeah,
meaning that they'll be able to change the movie or anything.
Right.
But yeah, this isn't gonna do.
No, this isn't gonna do
Sonic the movie.
No. So. This is not gonna do anything. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like a group of people trying to just be like, hey, let's make the people like angry about it so we can like I felt like that's what and back in 2014, that's what that leak script was there for, was to get Michael Bay off the movie. Because like literally that script, if you read it back then, it was literally like someone trying to write the Ninja Turtles movie as a Transformers movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I think that's it for tonight, right, Jason?
That is it for tonight. Thanks everyone for joining, and thank you Duck Talks for like reminding everyone that the Ninja Turtles cartoon and the DuckTales cartoon premiered in the same year.
That always trips me out whenever
I know. Every time I see like like DuckTales do like a reference to 1987, I'm like, why are they referencing when the Ninja Turtle cartoon came out? Because like, I mean, I remember when the Ninja Turtle cartoon came out. For some reason, I keep thinking that DuckTales like came out before I was born or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, I have vague memories of like watching that movie premiere of like the first like 5 episodes. But tune in for the full podcast. This week I will be joined by Spencer from Mike's show to talk about the 2003 series. It'll be lots of fun. All right, guys. Till next time, guys. See ya.